Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. So, I was looking at my GH notes for a minute. I was like, yeah, none of those names actually seem familiar. All right, so let's talk about this whole Cole, Victoria, and Claire scene. I feel like Claire is still real strong. I know that YNR is known for a slow burn, but part of me is just getting kind of annoyed with Claire at this point. This whole woe is me, I don't deserve this, I need my parents to go away, and yada, yada, yada. Like, when she called them to come to the clinic to sit there and say, well, I don't want y'all in my life, I don't feel like I deserve y'all, y'all need to sit there and stay away. I kind of sat there like, did you realize that they spent time and gas to get down there just for you to sit there and say, hey, listen, I still don't want you in my life, but I need to sit there and ask you for one final request? What the okay, sure. He's like, I want to sit there and face Jordan one more time. To, I don't know, psychologically get better or something, according to her doctors or something. They're just looking like, this is kind of a bad idea. This woman has been mentally torturing you for years. You had a couple of therapy sessions with, the psychiatrist and stuff like that, psychologist there, but I don't think you're ready to sit there and really confront your abuser. There's people that have went through therapy for years and they're not ready, and you just feel, oh, I stayed a couple of nights. I think I'm ready to sit there and talk to Jordan. Okay, sure. Um, Now Audra is getting annoyed with Tucker. And I don't think it's so much as a romance part as the fact that he keeps Smith chasing Ashley around, but more for sticking to the plan. Making sure he doesn't veer off course. They're in the middle of Smith having a meeting. You run out on her to sit there and go towards Ashley, and she's like, listen, you're trying to sit there and try to get her to see, what happened to Paris from your side, to sit and exalt yourself to make yourself, feel better. But right now you're veering off course, and I need you right now. Like, you got the connection, you got the money, you got the power. I need this. And if you're not going to sit there and be part of the plan, then I need to sit there and get out and try to figure out my own is. So she gets upset and she just heads on out. Now, Kyle and Tucker, well, Tucker gets back to the hotel, calls up Kyle and is like, you know what, listen, I know what you're doing and I'm good. So you can be going at this point. And he leaves. Well, he closed the door. He hangs up on him. Kyle is furious. And after talking to Jack and Ashley, Ashley's like, you need to sit there and just chill and just deal with this. Because Kyle was like, oh, well, Audra betrayed me. And I shouldn't have. Bro, you said that like you're shocked that you actually shocked that first of all, you've been using her for a while too. So let's not sit there and try to act all butthurt about, oh, she got one over on me. But also, bro, she's a snake. Okay? You're all upset like, oh, she betrayed me, like you didn't see this coming. Your dad has been telling you for a goddamn hour that there's a good chance that Tucker already knows about it. So why are you so surprised? Why are you so mad? He runs over to Arjun's like, oh, I can't believe you started to betray. Like, why'd you betray me for? Yada, 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 yada. Now, Arjun's not just saying, well, I did it for your protection. Okay, was you drinking when you decided to sit there and say it to him? Plus, Tucker gets there. I guess sit there and try to make things right with Audra. They get into it for a little bit. Tucker, Tucker's like, yo, listen, I don't need you. I just want to sit there and see how far you can sit there and go. But, I was on to you from the start. Then he calls his dad a name, and Kyle punches him in the face. And Audra's like, oh, she's all shocked or whatever, and she looks horrified at Kyle, like, why would you do this for? not just hear what he said to his dad. You thought he was just gonna sit there and let that go unchecked? No, he's gonna sit there and check his chin. Point blank period. Um Sharon walks in on Nick and Adam getting along, and she's just like, am I in a goddamn Twilight Zone at this point? Um Talks to Nick about breaking up with Chance, saying that, she's doing it for his own good, and yada yada yada, and I'm freeing him so he can sit there and be with somebody who's gonna love him, yada yada yada. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of stupid. Usually, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people didn't like those two together, right? And the directors, the people in charge or whatever, was like, listen, we're getting a lot of bad feedback from these two characters being together, so we're gonna sit there and try to break them up. And I guess, I mean, it's kind of stupid in some ways, the way that she broke up with him. But in some ways, I guess she was just like, oh, well, I'm doing this for him and I don't want to hold him back. And I guess it was fine. Like, I'm glad that they did listen to the audience feedback. But I guess I would have wished it would have been more a creative way for them to break them up. It just seemed like it was like, she was kind of doing this for like this self martyr thing, like, oh, I want you to be happy and you can't be happy with me or something. Like, okay, sure, whatever. We all know that um, she's going to get back together with Nick, which apparently those two do not have the best track record. Nick screwed her over a bunch of times, so why you want those two together is beyond me. But they want Xander and Sarah back together on Days of Our Lives, and so I guess people just like watching train wrecks. Who knows? She also talks about how she's happy about this business that we never get to sit there and see, and she's excited that it's going to be launching. She has really no more time for anything else except for this business that we do not get to see, that she's happy for, and I guess we just got to sit there and imagine it's super great. So, okay, sure, whatever. Sally and Adam have their lunch date. That's pretty much about it. So if you're a Sally and Adam fan, then that's cool. Um, I'm kind of in between. I don't really care one way or the other, but I know other people do, so that's cool. Um, Ashley was talking to Cole. Apparently, they had this really bad breakup back in the day, and I did understand where Ashley was coming from. Um, it wasn't so much about the talk that Cole was not having with Victoria. It was the simple fact that like she felt like he was still hung up on his ex, and she was just not going to be a part of that. So he talked for a little bit. He doesn't really sit there and say why he's actually back in town, which I'm just like, eventually the truth is going to come out. So I don't really understand this whole secrecy thing. I mean, what does she think Ashley going to do? Run to the clinic or whatever? Be like, oh my God, I didn't know, yada, yada, yada. It's like, y'all keeping this a secret from certain people is just kind of stupid. Like Ashley. And then Victoria comes in and it's just really, I don't know, kind of bad blood or whatever. Apparently, before I was watching the show, Victoria seems like kind of, I don't know, somewhat bitchy. Now she does sit there and say to when Ashley leaves, she's like, "Oh, what's her problem?" I'm like, what do you mean, what's her problem? It's more like, "What's your problem?" Um, well, of course, they get the text from Claire, and she does the whole step martyr thing, so that's whatever. Now, Ashley seems like she's clearly distraught or whatever, and Jack tries to talk to her. And, Ashley pretty much is like, Tucker is trying to convince me of something that happened that didn't want up happening, and I wish he would just go away. He would just leave me alone. He would just leave town, yada, yada, yada. And the problem with this thing is that we have no clear side. I mean, I guess it's kind of a good thing, but it's like we have no clear sides. Now we can sit there and be like, yeah, Tucker, he's just a real bastard or whatever. It's like, there's no definitive if he was actually mad and angry and he was smashing stuff, or if she took what he said out of context and it wasn't as bad as she's there claiming. One thing that Jack does notice about her is that he can still see that she has some sort of feelings towards Tucker. Now, will they get back together or not? who the hell knows? But people love train wrecks, so I'm pretty sure they'll find some sort of nonsensical way for them to sit there and get back together. Um, so I'm looking forward towards that, I guess. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. Oh, actually, it's not. I totally did forget about the Summer and Chance scene. Damn. Chance is pretty mopey about his breakup with Sharon, which I'm wondering why. He never really seemed like he had any true feelings for her. Yeah, she's beautiful and she's nice to be with and she's good to talk to. Um, but it's not like I don't feel like he had any true like investment in it with her. So it's like, him sitting down looking like he's drinking like alcohol, which is just I don't know, juice or something like that, and Summer coming over there to sit there and try to cheer him up, and him not even sitting there saying, why is he upset in the first place? Um, she just thinks this is because of his job. And so she gets him a bunch of clothes or whatever, and they talk and they laugh or whatever, and he feels a little bit more better and more cheered up. But I wish they would have gotten to why. See, my whole thing is I wish they would have gotten to why he was actually upset or kind of depressed to really sit there and see who was feeling. Because again, from their time that I saw them being together, it was like, okay, they went on picnics, they hooked up a lot, it was just fun and stuff like that. Um, and she did sit there and say, hey, listen, I'm not really looking for anything serious. So I don't understand why is he so mopey about this for? He acting like they went out for years and she just decided to break up with him out the blue. It's now he just they're just drinking his feelings away. And juice. Yeah, okay. Make that make sense to me. I think that's another reason why I kind of forgot about it. It's just it was so unmemorable because it's like there was no real feelings to it. I can't even sit there and be like, damn, just I feel really bad for you because like even when I sit there and look at from Sharon's case, Sharon was just like, I'm holding him back from being with somebody who may actually want to be with him. Like when I step there and I think about it, because I said something earlier, when I think about it, it was like I guess she wound up doing the right thing. You know, she might have felt like, hey, listen, you may have a shot at love. I don't know if I'm ever going to be in that place. And this was just kind of a hookup moment, and the fun is over now. So again, why are you sitting at the bar drinking juice, looking like you just lost your best friend or something? I don't get it. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. Can't really think of anything else, but you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, Young and Restless, and I will see you in the next video.